everyone. Here's Kaylee Watari with another episode of Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Today we are getting into the final part of the game. We're going to finish off the last case and end the game and the epilogue and the credits. Let's get to it. March 23rd, 2:45 p.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 3. We'll now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I can understand the defense acting like this, but however, why do you also seem so distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? That is... It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? It looks like something unexpected has happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that the suicide note is indeed a forgery. What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impact herself. It is a fake. Order! Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If that was not written by Miss Impact, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis, however. It appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. John Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Well. It looks like Miss Impacts never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about Ungard. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. Ungard could not have known that, and so that the facts remain unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory that Ungard had no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. Then evidence. The defense believes that the theory the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. Ungard to not have known it was a fake. Hi, camera people. What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera. You kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. Ungard knew of the existence of the note, because he was spying on the victim, isn't that right? If that were true, then this means Mr. Ungard would have known that the victim had forged the note. So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Ungard's motive for murder was. It has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Ungard monitored Mr. Corrida 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Ungard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Edgeworth on the ropes for once, now that's something to see. Order, Mr. Edgeworth. It looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. As I figured. As you figured. As I figured. It came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Ungard's motive through the evidence, Then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth stuttering? This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is that person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of, who was it that hired Shelley the killer to commit murder? That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, who is this witness? Yes, go on, who is it? The man himself, Mr. Shelley the killer. Oh, Mr. the killer. What? Shelley the killer? Are you serious? Insane, Mr. Edgeworth. You mean the killer, the assassin. Yes, Your Honor. He's coming here to the witness stand? Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright. Yes? Is this alright with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then. The prosecution calls our witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and your, occupation, if you please. Very good, sir. My name is Shelley the Killer, and I am professional assassin, of course. I say, what is going on here? Your Honor, how can you remain so calm, and what is the meaning of this two-way radio thing? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer would testify to this court. So this must have been what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are indeed Shelley the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry. Maya, a voice? Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this is indeed Shelley the Killer. It looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness. There is one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And that would be... At the request of a client, you killed Mr. John Corrida. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Corrida. Oh. Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream. Shelley the Killer. What is he going to say? About my client. There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp the concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. Well, he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor. Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. Now, let's press him for everything he's got. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word must and first means? Sorry, go on. Well, it appears this is one witness. You can't badger Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about my situation. The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome. And that is why you're testifying in this matter. This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name, so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? It has never happened before, but if it ever did. Yes? That person would no longer be my client, not for very long anyway. They would certainly. That's enough, please, no more. Very well, it was only a hypothetical anyway. That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die? No, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client. I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do. That egomaniac. It's not good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you. Somehow that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff. Just tell us the name already. Patience. Try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and close, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. Let's go for another round here. See if I missed anything. Here we go. Trust between you and your client? I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. These are the rules and duties an assassin and his client are to carry out. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trusted relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role. Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really. In that case, I believe I'm prepared to disclose the information you seek. You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready. Excellent. Now then, I do believe it's about time I revealed the name of my client, don't you agree? Here we go. What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. John Corrida? That person's name is... Silence. Adrian Andrews. What? Witness. That's not who you told me it was earlier. Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? This can't be. On the phone earlier. What's going on? What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. the Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. the Killer told him a different name. Not on guard, perhaps. I knew it. This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. But you were the one who could summon the witness. You Shelley the Killer. My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is not on guard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Wow. All of a sudden, it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided the suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definite of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. the Killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No. With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Mad on Guard is innocent. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, On Guard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but... Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And On Guard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this? Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would have absolved the defendant? Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley the Killer is certainly lying under oath. It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie. Miss Andrews, the suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And John's death. It was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me, it was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. DeKiller himself has testified. He has named you as his client. No, that's not true. Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and button? Don in the Nickel Samurai's costume? But that's... You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impax was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead. No, Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please, help me. Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? We're going to save because I believe this is where we get the alternate ending. I think this is where it where it splits off into the alternate ending. So I'm going to try and do it, but I want to do a save here first. Okay, so I think to get the alternate ending, you request a verdict, so I'm going to try doing that. Your Honor, the defense will make a request. It's no use. I can't. It feels like I've lost my voice. Phoenix. You can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Madame Guard is a killer, a murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than Guard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact. But it is because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten Guard convicted so many times over. But he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? I never thought about it until now. I trust him. Yes, you too. Okay, I guess that's not how you get the alternate ending. It'll come up at some point. But let's barrel on. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. DeKiller. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness is through your client, through the testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through the witness's lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here, in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. DeKiller. Right away, Your Honor. Has a verdict been reached? Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more. About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for? Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done. What is he talking about, usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail. You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? About my client, part 2. As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that John Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules. This is a most unexpected turn of events, for the 5th time now. However, this time everything has finally been revealed. Just a second, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? We still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this, do you, Mr. Wright? Your Honor, the defense will question the witness, as if I have a choice here. What? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then I'll expose the lies. That, so beneficial testimony, I suppose. I don't understand what's going on anymore. That makes 2 of us. Press. What is it, Mr. Wright? If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit. Yes? How much is your fee? I see you're also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney. Huh? If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial. No, I'm not the, Mr. Wright. Yes? You want to kill me? You want me dead, don't you? Why would you think something like that? Guilty. Mr. Phoenix Wright, you are hereby declared guilty. Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your client, are they not? I would think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Well, a change of occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party. That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer. And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time felt that they could run away from the guilt. Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, and my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible. You try to make things easy? My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. But to disregard everything, to go and grab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing? That is correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too. No. I already told you. I have no intention of ever using your services. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? From the very beginning. That is correct. From before my client even visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. That's odd. So why do you think your client did that? What do you mean by why? Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true. I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. On Guard. If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it? Sadly, that is not possible. My job is to kill. That is all. And to leave my business card behind naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall. And that's all you have to testify? Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again. Again? Then you plan to continue? I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney? Excuse me? No, I'm fine, really. You really know. I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do now is expose the lies. That's true, however, you realize that would be very bad for our client, right? I'm so confused. But the one thing I know for sure is I can't let this trial end yet. Okay. So, there's one statement. There it is. Time to save, because I don't really want to read everything all over again. Okay. He already knew she was dead. He was dead. Nope, that wasn't it. What else can I use? Let's try a wine glass then, maybe? Yes. That was it. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. Dick Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that John Corrida had been murdered. But how do you know that? from this wine glass, Your Honor. Glass? Mr. De Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Corrida had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon? Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct? I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Corrida's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all. How strange. Yes? Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection? This absurd situation. Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry. That sounded like an awfully weak objection to me. Anyway, I'm positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken. Very well. Right, now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of the trial lies with those items. Request taking. This request came to me, about a week ago now, I believe. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met in a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes. So you physically met your client, huh? That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. "1 week ago? Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind. Please, stop. In any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind." A specific date and time? Did you ask why on that specific night? No. I try to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. But as for why I only had my suspicions. Your suspicions, huh? Press further. So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night? I'm sure it was all for the bear. The bear? My client spoke of it. I'm sure there will be a bear-shaped figurine in John Corrida's room. I would like you to retrieve that item for me. He must be talking about the bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to this hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference after all. That is correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? It was very important. The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is, the client knew the secret of the bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet? Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that. Uh-oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right? Of course I did. What was that? What was with the brief pause? Press further. Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I have never taken a request by telephone or mail. And why is that? It's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Well, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now of any importance? It was very important. Of course it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. the Killer had met the client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews? I guess so. Yes, he is, just as I said. I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax. Now then, witness, please continue. So your client was Adrian Andrews? That is correct. Well, he says the two of them met. If they did, there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw his suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about a delicate balance. Okay. Well, you meet his client is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions. Well, what do you mean by that? My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? I have already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. That's when I thought, I will trust this person as a client. It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now of any importance? Yes, it was very important. If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was at the utmost importance. Huh? Really? If that's the case. Witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony. Very well. From the moment I saw him, I thought, I can trust this person as a client. Well, Adrian is a woman. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time. Yes, that is correct. And that's when you thought he was trustworthy? How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale. What? Shelley the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip-up about her. So what is the issue? What did you just say? About her. If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? This witness testified to the following: that he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request. But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. DeKiller's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake? I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor. Her name? Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Yes, I see. Unluckily for Mr. DeKiller, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with. What? What is going on? Shelley DeKiller, this court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another. So does that mean you remember something different now? Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. I know he's just going to spit out more lies. Very well, but this time please give us the truth, and nothing but the truth. Request taking part 2. Yes, now remember, I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of Jean Corrida and 2 or 3 other small sins. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job through a letter? He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break this assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. Like, we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. Press the statements. But didn't you just say that you always meet your client? Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible. But didn't you meet your client this time? No, I did not. Oh, come now, let's stop with this game of cat and mouse. Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me. Alright then, just cough it up and confess. Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. the Killer met with his client? No. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof. I see. Then your line of questioning was just another waste of time. Sadly for us, Your Honor. That is the nature of right and wrong. And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more requests. If I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities? On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I've joined the times and now take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email. Email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot hands down. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and? Two or three other things. Yes. And what were those other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I push the buttons the wrong way, and he gets mad. Press further. Whether or not they're related to this case or not is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney? Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you were planning to betray your own client? I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one? Wait. Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright. I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Yes. It's worth pursuing. Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were. If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that the job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Corrida's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client. Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. One of these was to find the bear figurine and to give it to Adrian Andrews. Suicide note, come to me. Shelley the Killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item. I see where we're going. Yep, that's where I'm going. Where is everyone going? I want to go too. Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it for her sake. If even for a single minute this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it. Order, order, order! So that's where you two were going. So, by the very fact that this suicide note was still inside the bear, tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... it means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Oh. Order! Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No, that's enough. If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do. Wait, please! Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to. No, please! Not that. Anything but that. Please wait. Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, and I may stay my hand otherwise. What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony? Or is this enough? Well, we should... Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, Maya, she'll... The prosecution, What has come over everyone? Even you are. The prosecution rests. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What? What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. Dick Killer's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley Dick Killer's client is Adrian Andrews. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? If I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Matt Ungard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder. Miss Andrews would be charged with murder. The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt Ungard, to the stand. The items from the killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried to hand as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands, Phoenix. Dude, did the old guy finally decide? To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent. Tch. So I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out. But Mr. On Guard, you were atrocious as a lawyer, weren't you? Giving your client away like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap is just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer. Should I side with justice, or should I save Maya's life? He'd better get on guard, a guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, he'll die. If I say he's innocent, think that Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty? Not guilty? Or the choice I make, someone's life is going to end. Seeing red. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Mountguard, is innocent. There is no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer is going to say what I want, aren't you? Right. I can't do this, but I have to decide somehow, something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Mountguard, is guilty or not guilty. Here we go. This is where the alternate ending is, I think. Anyway, we will be right back. Sorry, Maya, but we're going to show off the alternate ending first. Not guilty. We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Mountguard, your client, deserves an answer. Maya, I'm sorry. Mountguard is...
Objection!
Oh, that is still not the right spot for that. Okay. Francisca von Karma? To the rescue! What are we... Ow! You say that, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off of that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces? You have them. You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy, he's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is. That's gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole time, this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat there's a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence. Your final evidence? This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What? Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Ms. Von Karma be allowed to present those pieces of evidence. Suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring us any new points, then they will not be accepted by the court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police. He must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around, like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. The first item is a photo. It's a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Not really. I'm pretty sure there was no gun involved in this case. There's no real benefit to hearing about it. Please present the next piece of evidence. Pistol added to the court record. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from On Guard Mansion. Question for more details. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important. Why would you say that? Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He entered 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Surely the killer is no ordinary man. Videotape added to the record. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this the night of the murder. There was one thing I found interesting about this uniform. What is that? There is a button missing on the uniform. A button? It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. Bellboy's uniform added to the record. That is all I have to present, Your Honor. It's just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure, were we under normal circumstances, these items from Shirley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, the question is not who is the killer. It is who is the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now. Wait, Your Honor. Please allow me to examine this new evidence. Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far, you can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's, try, for my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of the situation for us. 2. The first. Make On Guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If On Guard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but that's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force the killer to end his contract with On Guard. If the killer were to no longer think of On Guard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia? That's even more impossible. He is a man who values his duty towards his client above all else. I know both of these seem to be impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. the pieces he has just shown. He's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side. Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We have seen all the pieces of evidence, and that is how we have come to know the truth. But there are people who have not seen them all, and those people do not know the truth. That truth, it may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict. Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids? I've already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence. I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor. Then, you want to show the evidence to that person? Yes, Your Honor, that's right. Please, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance. One chance? Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person. That's impossible. To turn the situation around in one try. One try, that is all I will permit. I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya, while taking on guard down at the same time. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to? I don't have anything to say to this. How about you, Miss Von Karma? Well, I was just shot, so... I'm afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue. What? No one understands what you are talking about anymore. Well, wait, please, one more. That is enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. This court finds the defendant man on guard not guilty. Yep, there's the alternate ending, right there. That is all. This court is adjourned. And just like that, the case came to an end. I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. I never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist. The end. Sad end, too. Very sad ending. Well, that's it for now. Next time we will, finish with the real ending, and we'll just continue and move forward, and yeah, I'll see you next time with that. And enjoy this until then.